Today we have our optiplex 3090 system. This is in a Dell Vostra 200 mini tower case. I had to do some slight modification of the IO shield in the back, simply because the original IO shield was built into the case. Okay, so right here we have I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. I just built this computer too. I think it's a 300 gigabyte, I don't know. I think it's maybe a 250. But we have an i5 2500. Right here's our GPU. It's a low profile GPU, so it's not even meant for this case. But here, let's unplug that. This is a Radeon HD 7570. It's a rather low-end card. It's meant for light gaming and slight office use. If I can get that back in there. Because this GPU card is not meant for this case. It is meant for full-height GPUs. Right here we have our Wi-Fi chip, VGA output. Right here we have a display port to VGA for this monitor. I'll show it in BIOS. We have a 300 watt Dell OEM PSU. This is the original disk drive for this computer, and I'm pretty sure it still might have the floppy disk inside of it. I don't know. Where's my other stick of RAM? This system has 16 gigabytes of Viper DDR3 RAM, clocked in at, let me see if I can't find it, 1866 megahertz, or mega transfers per second. Now, this case is not as good as the original optiplex 3090, but I can fit better PSUs and whatnot inside of it. It boots. It's giving me a RAM error code right now. I cut it off using the power button, which... Oh, wait, I have to unplug it. Let me see, it's the RAM in there. Rookie mistake. It won't do anything without RAM. But yeah. This is the best DDR3 kit I've found. This is the highest megahertz DDR3 that I know of anyway. And it's 16 gigabytes, which is the most this motherboard can handle, as it's an optiplex 3090 motherboard. Let's go ahead and plug our display port in. Yeah, all the monitors I have for testing and in general are VGA, so it doesn't really help. But it should boot on there in just a moment. See, optiplex 3090 series. Oh, wrong one. Wrong. I didn't mean to hit that one. I gotta wait on it to reboot. But yeah, this system right here can play TF2 at decent FPS. Can handle a lot of lightweight games and older games with pretty good ease. It has an i5 2500, a 300 watt power supply, 16 gigabytes of RAM, a decent GPU I'm gonna upgrade. And it has another bay for another storage and another slot right there for storage. So I can fit 2 more of these in there. And in theory, I could actually throw another one in right there in the other drive bay, which I probably won't do. Also, I have Linux Mint on the system instead of Windows. It originally had Windows 10. I just moved it to Linux Mint. If it'll boot up anyway. I have some games I'm gonna benchmark. Obviously, stuff like Metal Gear, Doom, higher end stuff like that will not load on this computer, but I'm going to test out most of these. Also on the system, instead of hitting play Team Fortress 2, I need to open it on OpenGL Legacy, because if I do Legacy OpenGL, it'll actually get 120 FPS. If I click this one and launch, I'll get roughly 20 FPS. So I do recommend that. Here, I'll go ahead and show y'all. Okay, so with it open on OpenGL, currently averaging 300 FPS in the main menu with, let's see, options, video. It's currently running at that native resolution. But on here, everything is pretty high. And that's not bad for a pretty decent computer. I'll load into a match real quick. So if y'all want to see any of those systems right there on, let me know and I'll boot them up. I'll try and get them actually loaded into an OS too. This one and this one will use Windows XP. That has Ubuntu 20.04. This has Linux Mint. If this will load, you'll actually get to see in-game FPS. But it'll be kind of hard for me to play with one hand because I'm holding my phone with the other. I need to buy like a tripod or something. And that is way out of my budget, so. Welcome Team Fortress 2, yay, continue. Let's play heavy. In-game FPS is not bad. Walking around and all that. It averages between 100 and 200. Right here, we have Borderlands 2. This is another game I'm going to be testing on this computer. Let me know in the comments if there are any game recommendations y'all want me to test. But this should average at least 60 FPS on the highest settings, from what I know. And I'm pretty sure it's already on the highest settings I can get it on. I'll make sure whenever I load in though. Okay, let's see. Options, video, resolution. It's currently at native resolution. No, it isn't. It needs to go up one. That is native resolution 720p. I could probably run high FPS with 1080p. Let's see. The highest. That's the highest resolution I can get with this computer. And that dropped our FPS by 50. Frame rate's unlimited, and the rest of these are on high, ultra high. And we'll see what this looks like while it's in an actual game. If you can't hear it, that's how loud the system is. It's not terribly loud. All it has on the inside is one fan, which is an exhaust fan. As you can see, we're at the start of the game and we're averaging about 40-ish FPS, almost 40, with the highest settings on this entire system, which I'm gonna upgrade the GPU. Don't worry about that. That'll just be in a later video. Okay, so we're loaded in. As you can see, it's currently on native resolution. I can't get it to even launch with that, so we're either gonna lower it down to 600 or 720p, which I'm gonna try this one first because I've never actually got this game to launch on here. So yeah, I hope that works. Oh, it looks like it actually launched for the first time ever. Hooray. Yeah, this is a horror game, Cry Fear. I haven't fully played it on my laptop, which is what I use for streaming and everything, which could easily play this game at 1080p resolution, but I mess with these old computers for fun, and that's the enjoyment I get out of it. But yeah, if this will load on the lowest resolution, I'll tell you the FPS. Well, it looks like it might load. Yeah, as you can see, we do have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Temps are not that hot. CPU temps are not that bad. And it's currently averaging 60 FPS on a blank screen. But yeah, there are some games that will truly beat the living crap out of this computer because my GPU is the bottleneck. And I'll take the GPU out of one of these and put it in one of those SFF cases right there. Preferably this one, because this one's backwards compatible with AM3, as you could see in my last video. Oh yeah, there's the IO shield for it. I went and picked it up. As it seems, the game is not going to load. So I guess we'll just have to call that at that. A big thanks to anyone who watches my videos. I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe. Do so at your own choice. I'm not going to coerce or coerce. Isn't that the word, coerce? I don't know. But yeah, watch this if it's enjoyable anyway. But yeah, I appreciate anyone who watches. And the next video, I'm going to start uploading every single Saturday. I'm going to try and keep that consistent too. So yeah, eventually I will run a benchmark on every single one of these computers. I know I have some spare RAM sitting around, so I can. So yeah, that's about that.